The New Age religion. All right, if you're not aware that the New Age is a religion, that's the first step, realizing that it is a religion. If you're not aware that it was created by Satanists to create a control opposition, that's your next step. Look that up. I highly recommend checking out Mark Passio, New Age Bullshit is the name of the video. It's a long video. So what I did in my program, Breaking Free from the Matrix, is I summarized the big takeaways, and we did infinity healings for each one so that we unsubscribed from the New Age programs that were very sneakily created or interjected into society, which come with some positivity, but there's limitations in them. And without knowing it, people end up using all the wisdom, like manifestation, law of attraction, for ego desires. So that's not how we experience enlightenment. That is not how we break free from the matrix. So it's not we're not bad people for desiring more material wealth, but if it keeps us on that dimension and we're not also integrating higher aspects of self, for example, the movie The Secret, Neil Donald Walsh was talking about how to use prayer. Well, first of all, Neil Donald Walsh is a Christian, and interesting how that didn't make it to the movie, and how he talks about using prayer and manifestation to bless the whole planet. That didn't make it into the movie. So it really leaves you like almost like stuck in spiritual ego. I'm better than other people because I'm a starseed. That's elitism, separatism, which is, we've seen it done in other religions. It leaves you being like, oh, if you like, to me, I was a conspiracy theorist, which is a truth seeker, really, before I was before I got stuck in the New Age. And it's funny how those two worlds were not able to merge. It's like, hey, if you're a truth seeker sharing these conspiracy facts, you're not that's not the norm in the New Age movement, because that is focusing on the negative. We don't want to focus on the negative. We only focus on the positive. So obviously there's truth to these things, like, you don't want to dwell on what's negative, but it does put you in a bubble. Don't watch the news. I get it. Don't dwell on all the negativity happening in the world. At this point, there's tons of positive news. Not tons, but there are alternatives to the mainstream news that just keep you aware of what's happening on your planet. If you are a light warrior, I want to know what's happening in Palestine. I want to know what's happening in Yemen. I want to know what's happening in the Congo. I want to know what's happening in these places so I can include that in my intentions, in my prayers. So I really found myself stuck in a place of like feeling good, but really I was stuck in my ego. I was manifesting all I wanted, but I wasn't fulfilled. And also it's sad when I see people leave the New Age and then go back to some kind of religion that they were in. I don't think we're meant to box ourselves in. I'm in the most unpopular place right now. I don't follow religion. I borrow from so many religions, and I'm like an ex-New Ager. So where's my tribe? Do we need? Do we need? That's a very survival thing, tribal thing. Like we need people like us. So I would say my tribe are freedom thinkers, people who question, people who challenge dogma, people who are uh, people who are awake, people who are warriors, beyond our belief systems. So New Age bullshit, check out the video. Really important. Help spread the word, help see how. He goes over like 10 main points. Like for example, if dark forces push this agenda, one of the things that I've noticed in the New Age community, whenever I try to talk about entities, they always kind of gaslight it and go, we all have darkness. And it's like, wow, what a sneaky tactic that whenever I go to expose dark forces working behind the scenes, the greatest trick the devil ever pulled is proving to the world he doesn't exist. Still working. So what I love about growing up with a mother who was born Christian, a father who was born Muslim is we're very aware that there are forces that don't have our best interest in their minds, that are trying to trick us and divide and conquer us. So being aware of that, how can you defeat an enemy not being aware of it? So the New Age tries to merge. There's the healthy darkness within that's separate than the shadow, that's separate than dark forces in the world. And whenever I go to talk about dark things, they're like, oh, that's negative. Or, oh yeah, we all have darkness in us. That's not what I'm saying. Or focus only on what's positive. Okay, so if we're a community of 100 people and one of those 100 people every night is killing one of our tribe members in their sleep, and I'm the conspiracy theorist who's like, oh my God, there's someone here who's killing us off every night. And the response is, don't focus on the negative, focus on the positive. Maybe that's why these things are happening, because you're negative. Then who wins that way? Who wins? The dark forces are great. Oh, perfect. I don't have to do anything now. They're just doing it for me. They're keeping me a secret. They're policing each other for me, so I get to reign freely. And another part of it that really concerns me is the suppression of the masculine. I'm an Aries sun. I feel it's a very masculine energy. I was raised by a father who's very masculine. And I'm grateful that I can have my moon Pisces kind of balancing that with some feminine spirituality. But I remember going to these events and just like seeing all the guys in my community just loving all these like soft feminine singers, and just like the solution to all the things happening in the world is to drink cacao and dance, or to like do some kundalini yoga, or to meditate. And don't get me wrong, I used to go religiously. I still love going to ecstatic dances, cacao, I love cacao. But it's like, if it stops there, it's a concern. And I remember posting once on this group, I'm like, it's a big community, a lot of people. Like, hey guys, what are we gonna do about raising funds for Palestine? Like, let's put our money where our mouth is. We've been talking the spiritual stuff for 5-10 years now. Light workers, star seeds, here to change the planet. Okay, well, right now there's a genocide happening. Let's create an event and raise funds. And it's like crickets. But come to my Kundalini yoga event. Come drink cacao and dance to music. No problem. So, when I look back on my journey, there was activism. There was, I wouldn't say political, but I was joining protests earlier on, like 2000s, protesting what's happening in Palestine. 2005, I was starting down the rabbit holes of what is the truth movement. At 2005, I dropped out of college after taking a philosophy elective, and I posted posters saying, come join, this gathering. Let's talk about the matrix, the world, how to break free from it. 2005, I was doing MDMA therapeutically. I had 5 pills. I used to party. I used to use them to party on the weekends. And I got the nudge from my guidance to do 1 a day and journal and meditate, burn incense before this was mainstream. So there's so many good things about the new age. It's just the 5-10% that snuck its way in there that keeps us trapped. And those things changed my life, like ecstatic dance, so healing, movement, music, connection, cacao medicine, plant medicines. But the ego needs to evolve as well, otherwise it becomes like, oh, yeah, how much money did you give to your church? I gave this much. Then it becomes, oh, how many plant medicines have you done? I've done this much. So we still have, I feel like the warrior is missing, the so many infiltrations. I remember going to a all women event in BC, and they invited men on the last day to join and to witness. And it was just, I could feel the animosity towards men and the hatred and the anger. Valid. It just hurts because then all men become, like if you had one bad experience with one person, if a black person had a bad experience with white people, it's not okay to hate on all white people. If a woman had a bad experience with a man, it's not okay to project that onto every single man. Yeah, my heart really hurt when I was there because I feel it just hurts to not feel seen. And I know it's not about me in that moment, it's about them, but it's about me and them. So I'm witnessing them, and I'm like, I remember I broke into tears as I was sharing, just telling them like, hey, it's not us against you, it's not you against us. Please don't look at us as like the other, because it's one human race. And when I was a kid, I remember looking at my body and being like, oh, I'm a guy in this life. This is new. Yeah, I was a woman I believe I was a woman in a past life because of how I was reacting to my body. But that's a theory. Maybe I was just pure energy and I was just shocked. But it felt more, looking back, it felt more like I was a woman in past life. So what I responded was, please remember that we were everything. When you look at us and you go, man, enemy, I was a woman, I was a man, I was a victim, we were victimizers. We were the master, we were the slave, all of it. And we were the colonized and the colonizers. And I was just like, please remember that there are some people like myself and other men who are allies. You know, in some native tribes, they have certain men who opt in to be the warrior role, meaning women know if someone's trying to cross the line with them, these men are going around the tribe just protecting, creating security, safety. That's a role men love and thrive in, and it's there innately. And so I don't think it's about, okay, women, let's become our own security. It's about who in our community are genuinely in integrity within themselves and can be trusted and create safety. And that's my biggest takeaway from tantric workshops and seminars and retreats, is really stepping into that role to create safety for the divine feminine within us all. And then allowing these men to play their role, and having these women create a bridge to certain men, right? Certain men, maybe definitely the minority of the men in the tribe nowadays. And just to conclude with that New Age and the suppression of masculine, I'm going to these events and I'm like I want to move, I want to move, I want to talk to people, I want to just like light my fire up and dance, and it's like, no, sit still and just be. And it's just super feminine. I was looking around, I was like, wow, like if shit went down right now, how activated is the masculine to be a protector? It's thriving in the feminine. Oh no. Shit, we're fucked. Again, one of my best experiences was being in the moment and being present. But it has to be balanced with the taking action. So now that I'm unsubscribed from the New Age program, my heroes, my role models are leaders, kings, queens, who are investing in themselves, finding their passion and purpose, playing a big game, making things happen, having a game plan, you know, stewarding land, creating communities, creating safe havens, so when shit goes down, you know, they've got something for their community. Yeah. Instead of, you know, someone who can do a headstand and wears orgonite necklaces, which again, I love. I just ordered an orgone pyramid yesterday. But I love making fun of these aspects of myself, so love you guys.